Guys, we're live trading today with James Bruce and myself. The day challenge for one lucky guest. Share this around, guys. It'll be an exciting one as usual. Markets are crashing currently, but we might have some upside potential coming up. All right. Check.
Sir.
Awesome. Welcome, guys. I got a new Maven cap, flatbread Maven cap this time.
Nice.
I feel like a train conductor with this sort of style cap. Right, guys, welcome back. Just James and I today. We're just going to be looking at the markets today. If you guys got any questions, we're going to be answering just general trading related questions today. James, I was just thinking we should get you some merch.
I know. I need some merch. I agree, bro. I agree.
We'll talk after this, and we'll figure out what you want, and we'll send it down your way.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's just look at the market here. I've got a trade going. You can even see the $23 loss there right now on the NASDAQ. And I am long off of that level right here. I like to front run it a little bit because I'm a little bit eager and I'm a little bit of a degenerate. But there is a level that's basically being bounced off of right now. And that's a 24-hour or a daily level, kind of this zone here. After we've gained this, this area, this previous high, we closed above it, should come back for a retest, gave ourselves a little bit of room, potentially another buy down here if it did dip down really deep. And we're just targeting new highs. Now, I'm a little bit risk off right now because last week we had this huge wick on the top side. And so I'm a little bit concerned that, hey, maybe we aren't going to be getting some massive closes above. So I wouldn't want to be pushing anything crazy like all-time highs or anything like that. My personal opinion, what's your take on, let's just say, the NASDAQ right now?
Yeah, so I actually had the shorts here, and I can actually bring my screen up as well. But I had some longs on the DAX in the London session.
Yeah.
But I was actually off the chart. So I just have an algo that alerts me when to take a buy or sell. So I long on the DAX and then New York session this morning, because obviously, from being in Europe, you're on basically the whole day. DAX is in the morning, and then you got NASDAQ. But I've been trading a lot of NASDAQ recently, tapping into my hunter, and because let's just bring this up.
Like the NASDAQ's great because it moves at pretty much all hours.
It does.
Just
it
crazy
does.
spike happens. Let me switch to yours. There you go.
That's basically what I was in at 792. I was mainly out at 750, call it, and then again kind of at 735.
So break down why you took that trade for the viewers.
Yeah. So this is a 5-minute chart in the NASDAQ. Pretty, for me, I like to keep my trading pretty simple like Hunter does. But opening range, we got the opening range high and opening range low. So for those that don't know what the opening range is, it's the first 15 minutes of market open. I know Hunter loves the strategy. On Twitter, he was speaking about it.
It's perfectly fine strategy. I just believe the basis of why it works is not the actual means of what's making it work. Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you 100%. So basically, we take the highs. We got the high set, the low set. We take the lows to the downside. As you can see, we break on the 5-minute chart. And I kind of I like the longs, I must say. We had a level on the 50-minute time frame that we were kind of bouncing off of like the whole time, like this 23,800 level after that drop down on Monday. And I did like longs above it. But, basically just waited and we didn't take this. We also have obviously a strong level of pre-market resistance here. You can see kind of like that level over here, like 23,850. So I just waited and we got a break of the Logan and got the flush out. And I kind of just chased momentum a bit. I do like those momentum players. So that was my trade.
Yeah. Now it's interesting. I'm going to switch back to my screen here because I saw the same short for a different reason. I just didn't bother taking it. So having a little bit of, I was in and out of sleep all night. But if you look at the 4-hour, you can see, hey, you've all of these previous sort of highs. And again, you've got a wick and a failure to maintain a new high above there. So I saw it actually coming back down to this level. And that's where my entry was basically placed down, is kind of sort of that swing low that started this move up, right? Because if we fail, most likely it's going to come down. So I did see that as well during the London session. And I just decided not to take it because, I'm not a fan of being asleep and having a trade in a short on the NASDAQ or Bitcoin or gold for that matter, anything that goes up.
No, you don't. That can move quite aggressively, especially on leveraged products. Like if you got obviously a short on NASDAQ, like with not really leveraged products, and you know where your stops are and what you're going to do, a little bit better. But yeah, I agree. Overnight can be tough.
Now, something else here. I just started looking at potentially a cool new time frame. So 4-hour always does me super well on what direction it's going to go. I don't know
what time frame you're looking at now,
but we've got the 8-hour. I looked at actually just early this morning, and my theory behind the 8-hour might be, hey, the 4-hour works really well, so the 8-hour is just two of them, right?
Sure.
But what's great about that is they basically completely coincide with the sessions, right? So the 8-hour just closed. The last 8-hour just closed 30 minutes into the New York session. Before that, this one would have closed at, the open of the German session or slightly before the London session. And then before that, this one would have opened on the daily reset, right? So each candle, this one's Asia, this one's London, this one's New York, sort of thing, or I guess this one's New York, London, Asia, right? And I'm just curious to see. I'm going to keep an eye on that, and that's a little maybe hopefully a helpful tip for anyone watching is maybe check out the 8-hour, because you can get complete idea of what the session did with a singular candle. Might help you get a little bit of guidance. What's your do you think that's silly, or is it there was a reason why nobody uses the 8-hour, or what?
Bro, I think people just use what's easy, to be honest. Like, that's what's become popular. Like, you intraday charts will kind of be like your 15 and 5 and maybe your 1 minute. And then, I still think that it doesn't really matter what time frame, and you will know this, Hunter. Like, it doesn't really matter what time frame you're looking at. If you can't trade or manage risk, it doesn't matter. If you're looking at the 8-hour, 8-minute, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, totally. Got a couple comments, people saying that the higher time frames are better. I completely agree there.
Yeah, from a trend perspective, of course, you want to see what's happening on the higher time frames. I agree.
Yeah, it really does lower your worry, right? There's a lot of noise, and I find, I've been vaping every once in a while here now, and if I'm watching the 5-minute, I'm like constantly. And I think I might actually switch over to swing trading a little bit here, because then I can walk in and out. The only reason I really do the day trading is more or less for the purpose of live streaming. People like the fact
dude. I actually agree with that, Hunter. Like, dude, I agree. Like, day trading, I'm probably like, like I've really only been trading for like 2 hours a day max, bro. And then I'm like, okay, I'll day trade, I'll laugh, I have some fun for 2 hours, and then I'm kind of done. And then I'm not really. Then I'll maybe like look at my long-term portfolio and stuff like that. But I agree. Like, buy and hold strategy is probably the best, and that it's fun to, like, you can, don't get me wrong, like, you can make a lot of money day trading, but it does take its toll on you, bro.
We've got one guy saying he thinks the time frame does matter. It's actually quite important. I think there could be some value to that, but what James is saying is, you need to know what is going on, right?
Yeah.
You need to know how to manage your risk, is what he said. You need to know how to manage your emotions, and then from there you can basically pick anything and then go into it. Like, I would advise using all of them and starting higher.
I mean, I agree with you with time frame matters. Let me give you a simple example here. So if you can just share my screen again. So this is some of the algos that I'm running in terms of like automated trading. So Hunter, basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to automate some trading simply because I don't want to be staring at charts all day. So like when I was on the road last week, I was away with family. I just got alerts in order to buy or sell, right? In order to take a position and then where my stop loss and take profit were. And it's pretty neat, but I definitely agree with you, time frame matters. So this is just the DAX in the last 90 days. We got a 1.6 profit factor on this. So pretty nice. So 11%. So I always look at the profit factor. What profit factor is basically telling me remember that this is not discretional trading. This is systematic trading, right? So this is like, you take your trade because X, Y, and Z happened, and there's your stop loss, there's your take profit. There's no adding into trades, anything like that. So none of that discretionary stuff. It's purely systematic. And this is in the last 90 days. I like to look at the last like 6 months to a year, and also a little bit of 3-month period, because markets are changing. But look, this is on the 5-minute, using a 5-minute opening range breakout strategy. Okay. If we drop down to the 1 minute, look how so this is now taking it on the 1 minute close. Look how we actually have a worse profit factor on the 1 minute. So I do agree with you that time frame does matter. We can even go to the 2 minute, will give me a profit factor of 1.3. So that's even worse. Whereas we went to the 5-minute time frame and it almost is a 0.3 better. Like, look here, you see 1.6. So I do agree with you.
Now, your opening range is based off of the 15-minute candle, correct?
Correct, yes. And then I'm waiting for a 5-minute closure with my algo trading.
Yeah, what does it look like when you jump onto the 15-minute then? Does it work, or?
Well, let's have a look.
Yeah.
15-minute time frame. Nah, not too great.
Even worse.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what does it make? Does it make sense if your opening range is 30 minutes? Because that's what I would prefer, is that first 30 minutes so you get the 4-hour close.
Let's do that. This is obviously on the DAX, but we could do it on the NQ as well. But this is just for example's sake, right?
Yeah.
But like we can make it 30 minutes. Let's go to that. So that will make it 30 minutes because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And then what time frame do you want? 5-minute closures. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Wow. That's actually very good for 15-minute closures. Look at that, Hunter. That's actually very good for 15-minute closures. 15-minute closures below the opening range or above the opening range, but with a 30-minute orb.
Yeah. Okay.
I see. Profit factor of 1.5. That's pretty good, I must say.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Because that's probably what I would go, because I like to play a little bit slower, because then there's less decisions. And I am not one to be very good under pressure, right? I tend to start panicking, and as cool as we all may pretend to be, we make very bad mistakes when we're under pressure.
Agreed. Just have a look here. Look, this is in the last 365 days. So last year, it hasn't been too great, but it's had its periods. Like this is again, like it's had a great run here, and then it drops down a little bit and kind of flat, and then another great run. This is just with the settings that we just randomly putting on here. But you see how even strategies go through like dips.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's good to have, other ways of making money, doing other things, adapt as a discretional trader, adapting maybe certain things that you're doing in real time according to what the markets are doing.
Now, what's interesting is it goes in a complete cyclical wave, which looks like summer is bad, winter is bad.
Correct.
As people start to go on vacation or something, and then New Year's comes and everyone's back in the market. September comes, everyone's back in the market.
Exactly.
Booming again.
Look at that. Yep. Correct. But that's obviously, this is just on the DAX. We can have a look at NQ as well. But it just shows you, it's pretty interesting. I find this stuff quite interesting. And that's also where I am at the moment. Like last week, I was away from the desk, but I was being able to make money and lose money some days. Getting just alerts to my phone,
What's interesting also is I found my best trading ever was this recent spring.
Really?
And it's kind of coinciding with that exactly. From March to June, every trade I took was dead on accurate to the tick, and then over summer, there was a lot more wiggle room, and it changed my mind. I was wondering, why are none of these levels being respected? You know what I mean? And maybe exactly what you're saying is throughout the seasons, the strategies are not working the exact same. So you get these looser stops, and it makes it less profitable, right?
Correct. Yeah, it definitely can be. Also like markets pick up. Like if you're trading with tight stop losses when Trump was doing the tariffs and that, you probably were feeling it. You couldn't be trading with, let's just say your average size was one standard lot on a Maven funded account.
Yeah.
Right? You probably could not do that when Trump had the tariffs and everything, because the NASDAQ was moving like 1,000 points sometimes in a day, right?
Yeah, totally. I have a buddy that was able to really capitalize on that, because all he does is he trades with one standard NQ lot every time. That's it. That's all he does, right? And for what I do is I trade with a smaller personal account, and I'm just trading on one micro account lot, right? You can't get any smaller than that. The one micro lot is as small as
you're still feeling
it. and when you can't reduce your risk any further, it makes it much more difficult, right? So you really need to be able to manage your risk properly. And that brings us to a really awesome question here. If you had to choose one golden rule of risk management, what would it be?
If I had to choose one golden rule of risk management, what would it be? I think for me, something that's helped me is having a max daily loss. I think per trade, and that for my discretional trading can be I might be sizing up on some trades, sizing down on others, but I think having like a max daily loss for me has I think that would be for me in terms like one golden
Yeah.
rule.
That's really good because then it allows you to walk away. There's something that people don't talk about with risk management that I like to discuss. Everyone says, "Hey, risk 2% per trade." I don't think that's risk management at all. That's position size management. It's a different thing. Um, Risk management to me is a whole range of things. One is, exactly what you said, the max loss per day. And another one is how much margin you're using actually. And what's interesting is, the brokerage I use has very high margin costs. So if I decide, hey, I have a $10,000 account, I actually can't enter 4 or 5 micros at a time because the
Sure,
cost for a micro is very, very high. I can only enter 2 or 3.
sure,
So if I go into a trade entering 2 right off the bat, well, if it goes against me and I decide, hey, there's another setup here that's going to allow me a better opportunity to make sure that this drawdown turns into a winner. Now, I'm not advocating adding forever. I'm advocating potentially adding to a position so that you can make it safer for yourself, right? Because that's risk management in my mind, right? And margin management is risk management. If I use one, then it gives me the opportunity to have a DCA, get myself out of that first position, and then have a better entry overall, right?
sure.
So something kind of unexpected that people don't really talk about is don't use all of your margin. Allow
Yeah,
yourself wiggle room.
agree. Well, so now I want to ask a question for you because I know I saw you commenting, I think it was on the weekend or something like that on Twitter. Someone was saying about like you should always like trading a 100K fund account is worse than trading a 10K personal account. What are your thoughts on trading both props and personal? Do you do that? Because I know you're busy doing that challenge at the moment, trading that 10 grand account, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So the risk management on a prop account, I'll blow the entire account immediately. And I'm fine with that because for me, it's like that's a $50 account, right?
Sure.
It's not.
Yes.
So I'm not losing $2,000 on it. You know what I mean? I'm losing
Correct.
$50. Um, but what's interesting is the benefits of the prop is so important here because it allows you to have that margin, right? So I can
Yes.
then go into $2,000 of drawdown while adding to the position, right? But if I only have $2,000 on a personal account, well, I have no amount of margin, right? That I wouldn't be able to add to a trade at all. I have to have the best entry always, right? And that's not something that I'm able to actually properly do. I'm not
Sure.
very good at my entries actually. So sometimes I have to DCA in a zone, right?
Yes.
And so I can't remember the exact question you had there.
But just trading like personal accounts compared to prop accounts, like
yeah.
do you I don't know if you remember the guy posted about like you should always be trading a personal account even if it's small or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's wise to always be trading a personal account, but not be using it for day trading, right?
yeah,
I would be using it
maybe
more
use it for like position trading, like
positional
trading. Yeah.
positional trading, placing safer bets that are kind of further away than you maybe expect.
Yes, not like quick scalps,
Yeah.
basically.
And,
Yeah.
and that allows you to day trade, feel like you're still being productive on the prop account, feel like you're still making money day in, day out, and
Correct.
not forcing the trades, right? If you miss a trade, on your personal account, which happens to me all the time. Like I'll set like a kind of a stink bid sometimes, right? Hoping that it comes and wicks down.
Sure.
And oftentimes those miss. So instead I can just enter on the prop account, right? Try to get the rally back up, scalp it really quick, get in and get out because they have these consistency rules, maximum, daily amounts or targets and all this jazz.
Correct.
Once I hit my target, okay, I'm done for the day. Now I feel like I've been successful, or I have been successful rather. And that personal trade, okay, I can just clean it and come back. Maybe it'll hit later or something. Who cares, right? And so both are advocatable, right?
Yeah. I wanted to ask a question now. I do agree with that. I think that the way that you trade props has to be a little bit different to the way that you guys do trade personal. Let's see if there's any other questions. Any other questions here, guys? In the chat, if trading is mirror personally, does changing your trading improve your life? Or does...
Here's a good one. Here's a good one. Huh?
Okay.
What's the most important lesson you learned from your biggest loss, and how did it change your trading approach going forward? I'm going to assume that you've blown a large portion of your account. Hey, let's get you started off with that one. So what was your biggest loss, first of all?
Let's what in the individual or like
whatever way you want to take it.
Okay. But my biggest loss, I remember, was back in 2021. I was trading quite a big sizable personal trading account at the time. It was over 200 grand. And not all my money. It was some private investor money as well. And I do remember I took a position on a pound, and it was the pound elections. And obviously I completely forgot about it. So I left it overnight, and it gapped up, and I got taken for about 40 grand in the day. But it was so not fun.
Yeah, that's that's a huge loss, even for myself or for pretty
anyone.
Much 40 grand is like a year of salary for most US citizens.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I've got and then we'll say what did we learn from it, sort of thing, after.
I've
got a little quick story. So back in the day, I was actually telling the story the other day on live stream, on my own live stream. Back in the day, I had my own little Discord called the Fishing Boat, right? And we were fishing for trades, right? And there's just a cute little community, right? Nothing to do with business. We just hanging out and trading. One day, some guy comes in. He's like, "Hey, I'm really good at trading," right? Okay, sure. I'll trust you, right? Whatever, right? No, he's like, I'll show you, okay? And so I don't know if you remember the days of BitMEX, right? This is when I was a crypto trader. BitMEX had an option where, because liquidity was low, they would promote people placing limit orders by paying them for the limit orders. Okay. So the limit orders, they'd be called makers, right? Would make 0.25% commission on every trade taken. Okay. And the takers would lose 0.75. So they still got their commission, but you would charge the people using market orders, right, extra, and then pay it to the makers, right? So basically what he would do is scalp back and forth, boom, 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 and just rack up the commissions, making money on the limit order, right?
Yeah.
And he would, read the book or whatever like this. And, we jumped on a call, and, okay, sure enough, he just made $300 in like an hour. Wow. Okay. Back and forth. Okay. Did this for a few more days, did it for like a week. Now I'm listening, right? Like, he doesn't lose. Okay. And he's just racking up, like every 5 minutes is like $50 sort of thing. Right. And I'm just like, okay, this is really enticing. Right. So I jumped on the bandwagon, and I started listening to him and just following exactly what he said. Right. Buy here, sell here. Right. Back and forth, racking up those commissions. And Bitcoin does best
like an RB, is it essentially like RB commissions, like that, basically
commissions, just milking the commission back and forth.
Yes.
And if you've ever looked at Bitcoin for more than 3 months, that every once in a while Bitcoin just right,
boom, yeah.
And that was especially back in the day of Bartcoin. We would used to call it Bartcoin because it would make this and then just right, and it would look like a Bart Simpson head, right? And so one of those days where we're in a tighter range, right, and we're placing on either side of the range, collecting money, and we stacked up so much cash. I turned in like $1,000 into like 20 grand or something like that in a few months, right? And sure enough, right, one day, one of the positions got filled. It just moved and instantly, and everyone on the server lost everything because everyone was following along after a few months of this. And
oh my goodness,
So
Nice.
the biggest loss I made was about 3 months of my time is what it was, because $1,000 starting balance was not like, be all end all sort of thing. But
Sure. But it's still, yeah, that's a bleak one.
the reality of the lesson and what we learned from this, because I really like this question. And Anna asked it there. I really like that question. The lesson is, you cannot trust a system that you don't know for sure works from you creating it. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
and it is so easy to get caught up in the game of, hey, I've got this system, because this has happened. There's been so many people that have claimed that they've got a strategy, and then I've looked at it, and then eventually they blow it all to the ground, right? And after that, I stopped listening to people.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah. Any major takeaways from your story?
Yeah, obviously losing money is shit, but I think if you are going to be a day trader, you got to kind of just brush off. But I think a big one is like knowing when to take breaks. I think, it can be quite tough day trading all day, every single day. So that's why I think like trading, like set hours for me, for obviously if you're swing trading, it's a little bit different. But if you're day trading, I think like if you do it for a couple of hours, get off, if you're doing a live stream, get off and then go from there, not trying to stare at the charts all day, every single day. I think that's probably my biggest one, because I think I remember like when I was trading my own account, and I had my first year where I crossed $100,000 in trading profits, and I was super stoked. And I got caught into trading Asian session. I was trading like Euro, Aussie dollar, and Asian session, and then I was trading London Open and then New York Open, and it just became all day, every single day, and it became quite, well, not quite, extremely time consuming. So I think that's probably, and that happened after I had made a lot of money. So I think my lesson from that is don't make trading like the be all and end all. Actually, you gotta have a good balance. Like, yes, go at it with 2 hours, focus on your trading for those 3 hours, and then the rest of the day, do what you need to do.
Totally. 2 to 3 hours is about the limit of what I can do sitting at the computer. Totally, I would agree with that one. You could leave a trade to kind of go throughout the night or something, more swing trade, but actual properly day trading, 2 to 3 hours is about the limit. Yeah. Let's talk Bitcoin. What's going on with Bitcoin? Well, a little bit of a dump there on the market open. So Bitcoin, everyone loves Bitcoin. Everyone's getting rich off Bitcoin. You gotta have no patience to not be making money on Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Because all it has ever done is made
it's gone up
millionaires from poverty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right now, Bitcoin, we had a previous month that was actually just horrendous. Down, what is that, like 15K on the month. Last month, we had this a couple weeks ago, we had this close back within sort of this range, and we're in this zone right now. It's trying to find where is it going to go. And my personal opinion is, it's too uncertain right now. We've got this resistance coming up here, and we've got this area which is monthly levels, and then we've got this 102 level down here, which is a major monthly level as well.
Sure.
And so Bitcoin's trying to make a decision right now. What I would be doing is anywhere in this purple or below, I'd be a buyer unless we get another really terrible month. And we've got about 21 days left in the month. So 3 more weeks. So there's still plenty of time for this to print out. Any opinion on Bitcoin? But you're not much of a crypto trader guy.
I do hold some Bitcoin, but I'm like just a long-term buy and hold. It's very similar to how most people will do it. Like DCA into Bitcoin, like I'll put a small point of my long-term portfolio into it at the end of every Friday. But yeah, it is interesting. We are, as you said, under and the daily 50 EMA on Bitcoin as well. So that's just something interesting to take a note of. I do like those EMAs from a long-term perspective. I can see we're actually crashing quite hard now on Bitcoin from the highs of today. We back down 2% actually from 113 to 110. But I agree with you. I mean, a lot of people have become very, very wealthy on what I don't know. This is just my own opinion on like you can maybe correct me, but you probably have been, or you have been around for double the amount of time in trading that I have. But what I've seen from even like the guys that day trade, like NASDAQ Live and stuff like that, I'm not saying they're not good traders. Some of them are amazing traders. But what I've seen from them is a lot of them have made like their money for example, I know one or two guys have made their money in that AMD, in AMD bubble. And then like they make like a ton of money. I'm talking like millions. And then they day trade to kind of supplement like
AMD, you mean accumulation, manipulation, distribution, or you mean
no AMD the stock. AMD the stock. Yes, okay. I'm saying like they made like a lot of money from like one big bet. For example, like someone that went all in on Tesla, or someone that went all in on like Bitcoin. And then basically they've become good traders, but they use trading to like not to try and swing for the fences, but to kind of like instead of eating into the money that they made from that huge play, to kind of supplement their lifestyle, if that makes sense.
I mean, perfectly fair. It's more or less what I was able to do. Is I supplemented my income through YouTube sort of education. I then invested all that into crypto. Stopped doing the YouTube in education, and built up enough capital in crypto that allowed me to then start another company. Allowed me to do my trading and live off of that. Right. So. Fair is where it's fair, right? The only issue with running up one massive amount of money off of one thing, and I'm a victim of this as well. You could say, quote unquote victim, right? Is you pretty much lose all of it if you don't know how to manage it, right? So you learn some really awesome lessons once you lose everything, and if you make it quick, you're going to lose it quick, pretty much. But yeah, there's a lot of, like, if you look at Nvidia. Right, this is the best performing asset in the last decade, right? Like all of the, like, this is absolutely insane.
I know it is wild. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. I think that's quite smart though, because you can still make a lot of money trading, but it's like, hey, well, I can only trade. I'm only going to trade for 2 hours a day. I've made my bucks. I'm just going to, like, if I can make $10,000 a month plus from my trading, I'll be happy with that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's what I've found.
Yeah. The thing is, with trading is, it sounds so much cooler to be like, hey, I made my money day trading the NASDAQ. You know what I mean? But the reality is, if all you're in it for is the money and the freedom, then you would have been better to just put it all on the NASDAQ. And if you were, and all on NVIDIA. And if you were, so smart enough to be like, hey, NVIDIA is probably going to rip up and I only need to make one trade this next 5 years, you're the better trader. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Despite doing less. Okay. The person who does more is not the better trader. The person who has the harder way is not the better trader. It's the person who ROIs more while managing their risk properly, right? So NVIDIA is still absolutely an amazing buy. It's coming down currently, so it could come down to these levels around 150. And the second it does, actually, I'm going to probably add an alert or something, or maybe I'll just add an alert here, just because this potentially is the next leg up, right? NVIDIA, I'm going to put right there, alert. To cause an even bigger spike, because the reality is the momentum is crazy here. And if anything crashes, it's probably not going to be NVIDIA right now. You're going to see at least another push up. It's going to show signs of crashing. Things tend to not just V top. V bottom is common.
Yeah. V top. I agree with that. They don't really V top. They more like start to, slide. Like, they don't just go up and then straight back down. I agree with that.
Here's an example of a V top, right? Let's say you see this, right? And you're like, okay, I'm going to buy on support. right? Well, you still have the opportunity to make tons of profit on that, despite it not going for all-time highs again. And maybe you set that and then you put your stop at break even or something. Okay, boom, canceled out the trade. Now for the next time, you wait for it to start going up again, but maybe, and then you get back in, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes for the highs again, right? And in investing and positional trading is trading.
Yes.
It's just not the glorified trading
No,
that we all
not.
crave.
It's not fun because people want to be in and out and they want to be fast and furious, you know?
Exactly. Fast and furious. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I
need
agree with that. But yeah, let's see if there's any other questions here. I think this is pretty solid. How's your longs going there on that Nasdaq? I think it's a little bit struggling a little bit at these levels here.
I'm perfectly fine with the price action currently here. What I like to do is, and I was posting this on Twitter actually the last couple of days, is that any strategy that does well is basically falls under kind of these three steps: is one, determine the direction it's going to go, and then two, enter on a pullback, right, so that you get a better entry so that you can actually make profit, and then three, exit when the trend goes in the other direction, right? You know what I mean? And that's the basis of any profitable strategy. So all I'm sitting at is this 15 minutes making a lot of noise, and I really don't care about it. But what I see is, hey, what did we have? That daily close above there. We're bouncing off the level that I like. And we have this really awesome wicks on the 1 hour and potentially soon to be the 2 hour, right? So everything looks good still in my eyes. Hey, the trend is still up and this is the pullback, right? So I'm perfectly happy sitting in that trade despite it being, hey, a little bit choppy. And if I look at this, I might be panicking because that makes absolutely no sense to me right now.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just having a look at Nasdaq still trade. Actually, YM is the only index that's actually trading higher today. Yeah, out of the three. Interesting.
YM?
Yeah, YM Dow. So only I don't I trade YM a little bit, but mainly Nasdaq. And yeah, Nasdaq and the DAX. But yeah, YM is interesting. It's the only one that's actually trading higher compared to the other two indexes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of. I don't know why. Tech stocks rip. So the Nasdaq, it's the one with the most accurate levels for me. I've never been a fan of the Dow, but a lot of people love the Dow.
Yeah, I think probably very similar to like gold. It probably moves more aggressively than the Nasdaq and that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Hunter, we actually need to get on the bandwagon. I don't have any holiday or any personal plans for now, so we need to do some more streams together. Do you guys want to do some more streams? See Hunter and I trading live together more at the open, because I think we kind of see this markets very similarly, but you see it your way, I see it my way, and yeah, I think just also we're speaking about like scaling up and everything like that. There's one of the guys that we've been working with as coaching him for like the last probably 8 months. And he started out, he's only been trading futures for 9 months, but he's been trading for markets for like 20 years. He's made a lot of money in he made a lot of money in Nvidia, a lot of money in Tesla, stuff like that. But he started off with 4 futures accounts, just copy trading 4 futures accounts. Do you know how many he's got now? Last month, yes, he didn't obviously withdraw the whole balance, but he withdrew probably like 40% of it. He made $250,000 last month, but because he has like 80 accounts, bro. If you make, if you make $3,000 across 80 accounts, it's going to be a lot of money, Yeah,
that's insane. I've never been one to actually copy across prop firms.
No, I probably the most I've ever copied is probably like 5 or 6 at a time. Yeah. Maybe up to 10, maybe.
That's when like people are like, that's their full-time job, right? Like, yeah. If I'm trading 80 accounts, that is incredible stress in my mind. And and I've got other things, content creation. Yeah. I've got Maven. I also like to, have a stress-free life. So one is plenty.
Yeah, it is wild. It is wild. It's I mean, when he does it, I'm like, dude, yeah. I mean, imagine you have like one. Just imagine you hit 10 minis instead of 10 macros. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's a lot bigger. If trading is a mirror of your personalities, changing your trading improve. Just changing your trading improve your life, or just changing your life improve your trading? I like this question as well. Simply because I like to correlate trading to life, and I would argue that the way that you trade is the way that you live your life as well. If you have a peaceful life, if you go
Yes.
slow about things, if you put care into the dishes you make at dinner time, you know what I mean, and you wait that extra moment to put the onions in or whatever, because it makes it like a little bit more flavorful, because it'll be better, right? You're probably going to wait for that level the same sort of way, rather than jumping in right when it near misses it. You know what I mean? And it's going to make your trading just a little bit better. So I love to advocate, hey, if you want to be a better trader, make yourself better first. Don't actually focus on the trading at all. Focus on on other areas of discipline, other areas of peace and tranquility. Because the reality is, trading should not be exciting. If it's exciting, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. And also, especially if you're day trading, it shouldn't be long. You should come and trade the NASDAQ for 2 hours a day, maybe maximum 3, get off the desk, go about your life. Like, personally for me, Hans, if I have a winner in the first 30 minutes on the NASDAQ, I'm kind of chilling, like I did today. I'm kind of chilling. Okay, I had it in the first 45 minutes, but same. I'm kind of not really going to take any more positions the rest of the day unless I see something that's really like A class. And I'm like, listen, I got a good read on this and I'm going to go for it. But other than that, I think it's kind of better, like from a mental state, to do that, right? If you can make $1,000 in a day, like to be honest, like I'm not trying to make $500,000 in a day. Of course, everyone wants to, but I'm not. I'm kind of past that point where I'm like, if I can, get my time back and not have to go check into work every single day, I'm more than happy to make my $1,000, move on, and come back the next day.
I think there's two avenues people go down once they find proper profitability. One is they kind of go down that, hey, I want to actually enjoy my life now, and I think that's what you're going down. You're more of a family man. I think it's largely the persona of Maven too. This is all about making your life better. And then the other one is to go down, how big can I get that number, which is a perfectly fun game.
It is.
And I think it's exactly like I said, it's a game, right? You turn it into a game. How big can I make it, right? And how like World of Warcraft or something, like how strong can I get my character, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is completely up to your choice, right? Like if you want to,
I agree. Hey, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that I'm trying to be not trying to be better and trying to improve. I definitely would, but I think it's also like, I mean, you got to find where you're at. By the way, someone's saying, James, your haircut looks good. Thank you. It's well polished. The NASDAQ's getting a little bit of strength here for you.
I got the same compliment the other day while I was wearing a hat.
Yeah, I'm like, dude. Yeah, thanks, bro.
I think people are just trolling.
Yeah, they are, bro. 100%.
Yeah.
No, but NASDAQ picking up a little bit for you. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. It's interesting. I've been having a lot of self-doubt lately with the trading style, just because I'm not getting those super key entries. And adapting the strategy a little bit to have a little bit of wiggle room, because ultimately this was the level I was looking for, and it went decently against me. But I'm allowing myself kind of that grace, and I'm openly saying, hey, I might be in a little bit of drawdown lately, because the last month has been actually hitting me in some drawdown. So I'm reducing the risk a bit, and I'm allowing myself to say, hey, this is a pain point, and we're going to accept it, and we're going to adapt a little bit. We're going to just let it go a little bit deeper than normal, and it looks like, hey, that's going to work for us today. The fact that I didn't have this super tight stop.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got a nice 50-point rise there on this 5-minute bar.
What's your best habit to avoid holding on to a loser?
Yeah, shit. It actually kind of happened to me a little bit. When was it? Actually, last week. I was in a long, realized I was wrong, got out, actually shorted because I realized I actually probably got the direction wrong.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the times, even myself speaking from personal experience, that's where we go wrong. We try and hold on to the loser. And if we had just actually even changed our position like I did that day, you probably end the day green or break even, maybe even a little bit green,
Yeah.
So yeah, don't be stubborn. That's a nice bar for you, bro, on the 5-minute time.
It is 100% stubbornness and ego. Yeah, we're up 71 on there. We can even pop up the daily P&L.
Is this the live account that you're trading?
This is the live 10K personal account. So
nice.
this
total
balance.
How much are you risking on this account?
Sorry?
How much are you risking like per trade or per day on this account?
I generally won't lose more than 500. 500 would be kind of my limit for today.
Okay.
But the reality is how we're teaching people to go about this is we're saying, hey, you should be investing. So I'm picking different stocks to be invested in. Alibaba kicked up today pretty well.
You saw long on those positions.
Yeah. And what I do is I look at particular stocks. So we'll look at Netflix. I bought Netflix the other day, just a couple of days ago, and I'll just put like smaller amounts.
You can actually trade them as a future, basically.
Yeah. Nice. Exactly.
Okay.
Which is nice.
We can, on my personal brokerage account, we can trade them as a CFD, essentially.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't trade futures because, like as a live account in South Africa, Trade of 8 or something. But
yeah. This is Interactive Brokers, which is the only option I really have in Canada. But actually, maybe we'll put on Alibaba because I believe I bought this yesterday because of this monthly, right? I seen that monthly close strong there. Seen it started wicking back down, testing that level, and then I didn't get the best entry. But the reality is, this is a good, really great chart.
Yeah, that is a nice buying price, bro.
So you can see proper curve, closing strong. Potentially, we see a nice rally back up, and that's going to be an amazing amount of money. Yes. And that's what we're doing here. Is like, okay, again, we did the same sort of thing on Hood as it came back to these levels. We bought a couple. I sold off a couple already, I believe, on Robinhood. So you buy those zones, and you're doing that, and then on top of that, you're trading the NASDAQ sort of with these swing-ish plays. I'll call them swing-ish, right? And then from there, I'm using prop firms for the actual day trading, scalping side of things, right? And you'll see, unrealized $400 there. We're up a little bit so far, and the goal is honestly like 5% a month, right? Because then you just kill the market from just buying, right? 5% a month is fantastic. So you're really only need $500.
That's 5% on a 10 grand account. That's $500 a month.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you're not shooting for anything too crazy. Last week I was up 400 and then lost it all immediately on that crash. But I think I ended last week with $50 profit, which it seems silly to work for a whole week to make $50, but
hey, it's better than a kick in the nuts, right? You're not losing bucks.
You sound like my mom when I was a kid. Anytime I get something. Anyways, guys, that's our time. Thanks, James, for joining us once again. The winner of the 50K account is going to be posted in the Maven Discord. I'm going to send a screenshot in there. James, just shout out your handle if people.
Yeah, you can. James Bruce 131. James Bruce 131. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and OnlyFans.
Right on. Yeah, we're doing a collab on there pretty soon, hey?
Cheers, guys. Have a good
Thanks,
one.
guys.